Starting off with an easy one. He broke the 18-year playoff drought in 2017. Who remembers the damn pain that the drought era had to deal with it? I am so envious of the young bucks that are regularly in this chat that know very little pain. Maybe a different kind of pain, like playoff pain hurts quite a bit, I can say. But the drought was just the trenches. And let's be thankful that you don't need to be going through that ever again. Number one, 7 playoff appearances in 8 years. Sean McDermott has only ever missed the playoffs once in his career. He's made it to the AFC Championship twice, 2020, 2024. And this is something I think that all of us should recognize here. Sean McDermott is 86-45 in his regular season record. That is 6th amongst all active NFL head coaches. And folks, I would like to point out something to each and every single one of you. And something I think that you will find pretty interesting here. Out of all of the head coaches that are active, that are above Sean McDermott, they have all been significantly long tenured in the NFL. You have Andy Reid at 301 wins throughout his career. That's 4th all time. He's been in the league since I was in the single digits of my life on this planet Earth. Mike Tomlin, who has been a head coach of this league in quite some time. John Harbaugh, who has been a head coach since 2008. Pete Carroll, who has 161. And then also Sean Payton, who has 152 wins. All 5 of those head coaches are the only coaches in the NFL that have more wins than Sean McDermott. So if we wanted to rank the most winningest head coach in the NFL based off of a more new age type NFL coaching community, Sean McDermott, folks, I hate to say it, and Sean McDermott haters are absolutely in shambles with that statistic. Sean McDermott is the most winningest coach in the NFL for short-term tenured head coaches, not including guys that have been in the league for 15 plus years. Same thing with Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, and Sean Payton have all been in the league for 15 plus years. So most winningest new age head coach. He is above Sean McVay at 80 wins. He is above Kevin Stefanski, who is, as you can see on this list, is number 10. He is above Kyle Shanahan, who is at 70. And by the way, Kyle Shanahan has missed the playoffs several times throughout his career with super teams, by the way. And then Ron Rivera is number 10. But that's just a rough estimate, like while he was with the Washington Commanders. And he's not even active anymore. So we can put that out. He's 26 games away from tying Marv Levy's record all time. 26 games away. I think that's pretty damn impressive, wouldn't you have to say? So I'm not going to sit here and say that I think Sean McDermott should be a top 5 head coach. I'm fine with him being below Andy Reid. I'm fine with him being below Sean Payton. Fine with him being below Sean McVay because he does have a ring. And I hate that, but it's true. Harbaugh has a ring. I get it, although Sean McDermott is 2-0 against him when it matters most in the playoffs. Mike Tomlin, I'm fine with that because that man is something I would say is pretty similar to Sean McDermott's coaching style, where regardless of the talent that's on the roster, they are going to be a formidable team and a formidable opponent. But to look me in the eye and say that Jim Harbaugh is above Sean McDermott, like right after 1 year, of course, he had an extended break between the San Francisco 49ers time, had that slight stint in Michigan. He's definitely above Kyle Shanahan because Kyle Shanahan suffers from the exact same thing as the Buffalo Bills, and that's not being able to get past the Kansas City Chiefs. And the difference, of course, is that he gets it done in the Super Bowl because the Chiefs are not in the AFC. I'm sure that they would be dealing with the exact same thing. Sirianni, I suppose I'm fine with that. But Dan Campbell, Kevin Stefanski, Shanahan, and Jim Harbaugh, I just don't see it. And Sean McDermott should. That was weird. Sean McDermott should be above all 4 of those guys. Harbaugh, Shanahan, Dan Campbell, and Kevin Stefanski. Now, I'm going to go to the chat here in a second and open up the conversation because, as many of you know, I like to yap a bit about the topic at hand. And then I like to sort of pull the chat and get their idea of what they have to say. But I can probably already predict what some of my live chat members are saying. And they're saying, oh, he can't get us over the hump against Kansas City. Well, folks, I hate to break it to you. I really hate to break it to you. But not a lot of teams have had the chance to even go for the Super Bowl in the AFC. The past 10 years in the AFC Championship, past 10 years in the AFC Championship, there has not been a single matchup that has not included the New England Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs. There has not been a single matchup that has not included one of those two teams. So I'm having a very difficult time trying to find a team in the AFC that doesn't have the same issue as the Buffalo Bills. It's getting over Kansas City. And the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, right now, he's the most winningest head coach in the NFL who is currently active. He's fourth all time in overall wins. Solid coach, right? It is formidable. And I'm not going to blame and I'm not going to put a lot of depth and hurt into Sean McDermott for the past couple of years of losses against Kansas City. Yes, I would definitely put the 13-second game, but that was about 2 years ago. He's shown year and year and year in and out of improvement for the past couple of years. I would probably end up pinning, of course, lack of depth from a personnel perspective. I don't care how good of an NFL head coach you are. Sometimes you are held back by the personnel. I don't care if you are the best F1 or NASCAR driver on the face of the planet, but if you are asked to drive a 1978 station wagon, you're probably going to lose. It doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. Same exact thing could be put into perspective as an NFL head coach. Now, I regularly always get people saying, oh, Dan, like what if the Buffalo Bills like lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship again? He should be fired, shouldn't he? Me? No, dude. Anybody acting like Sean McDermott would not have a head coaching position a week later. Most of the time when a head coach ultimately ends up getting canned, he ends up having to deal with being demoted of being a coordinator once again. Sean McDermott would not be that. Sean McDermott would not be that whatsoever. So am I pissed that Sean McDermott is not a top 5 head coach? No. But the audacity of PFF to hop online and put together this monstrosity of a graphic and not include Sean McDermott on this list is absolutely asinine, especially over Dan Campbell, Stefanski, Shanahan, and Jim Harbaugh.